Hi guys, so in today's episode we're going to take a look at painting this pearl white Skoda Octavia. Now this is a 21 plate car, it's less than 6 months old. Fortunately the guy that owns it's had a slight little incident down this side, so I will pop some pictures up now. So as you can see, it had pretty extensive damage down this side. Now we managed to save the wing by taking the wing off and straightening all the wing out. The bumper corner was fine, that warmed up, went back into place. And the same for the door, we just used the GYS system to metal pull that out. And then on the rear arch, there was a bit of a slight knock and a bit of a little mark on the bumper. So this particular white is a single stage pearl white, it's not like a 3-stage pearl white. It's literally just one base, one clear. So I'm going to pop a little bit of wet on now and then take you through the painting side of it and give you a look at the finished car when it's done. So I put a few little bits of wet around the wheel arch, and we've also put some foam rolled up where the door handles go to try and keep everything really nice and clean on this car. Now with this being pretty much a brand spanking new car, we have taken a lot of care to make sure that all the tar is removed, that everything is really well cleaned up, and stripped all this out as far as we possibly can, so we can get basically the best kind of seamless job we can on this car. Obviously with it being new, and it's also a pearl white in base and clear, they're not the easiest jobs to keep clean, so we've taken extra care to make sure that the car is clean and the booth is clean, so that when we put all this down we can try and get the job as nice as possible and try and eliminate the risk of any dark coloured nibs in the car, which obviously would stand out a mile. Now we are doing, I know what some of you guys would call a little bit of a controversial blend on this bonnet, because I'm only just going to do it part way to a Swage line, but I learned in working in a factory a long time ago, this is a massive commonplace in factories, and I think if it's okay for a factory to do it, then it's also okay for us to do it as well. Now as far as that blend goes, the reason why I'm not clearing the whole bonnet, again, is just to try and reduce the risk of having any dirty nibs in the bonnet. The larger the area that I'm doing across the front of that bonnet and then re-clearing on that bonnet, it could potentially open up the risk for having some dirty looking paint nibs in the bonnet. So if I do a small little blow in the edge of the bonnet instead, just to make sure that this colour is spot on, then I think that's a little bit less risky, putting a little clear blend on the very edge of that Swage line, than it is if I clear the whole bonnet. Now I am going to take care to make sure that my base only goes along the very edge of the bonnet, because I need to solidly paint this wing, and also I'll be working to keep the base coat all the way along roughly underneath that sort of Swage line level there. Now I'm using a water-based base coat for this, so I'm literally going to go over it with one light coat, one heavy coat, and just do basically on my second coat, just give it a light little quick blend, and then that'll be the base coat stage finished. As you can see, with this being a single stage pearl white, so it's just, you know, the white and the pearl all in one coat, rather than having, say, like a white ground coat and then a white pearl to put down over the top. It does cover extremely well, so I don't need to spend a lot of time on the base coat side of things. And I was quite surprised actually just how well this colour covered. Now for those of you that are interested, this is LS9R Moon White. It's quite a nice pearl white. When the car first came in, I didn't twig it was a pearl until I got it under some different light, and then I realised that it was actually a pearl colour. I would also like to give a quick shout out to all our channel members, including Nicholas, who has just joined in this last month. I appreciate the support from you guys, and it does go a long way in helping me make future content along the way on the channel. Also, for you guys that are waiting for the giveaway announcement, At some point during the video I will reveal who has won the giveaway for this board and also the spray gun. So stay tuned and don't miss out on any part of the video in case you miss out on potentially being the winner of the spray gun. So as you can see on this, it's actually covering up really quick. It was a nice car to paint. Now as far as the prep side of this went, because I wanted to really make the effort to make sure that we really did match the original factory peel on this, the way that I went about that on this particular car was a bit different to what I would normally do. So I left the peel on the car rather than doing a P1000 sand all the way down the side. So I just grey scotched everything completely back so that I could leave the original factory peel in the car, and then when I shot my clear down I went trying to put that down basically really nice and smooth. Now when that dries, obviously the texture of the original factory peel is still there behind it, which will give this a very nice factory peel look, and it will match in perfectly with the rest of the car, because this is not a car that we want to notice any differences on as far as peel or anything goes. Now where the damage was on this bumper corner here, what I did, I actually left the bumper bracket off the car that bolts to the wing and put some masking tape between the bumper and the wing to open that gap up, to make sure that I could paint all the way inside the gap between the bumper and where it meets the wing, to make sure that obviously the lay down on the peel and everything is exactly the same all the way down the side of the car, which is another reason, you know, why we haven't stripped this car anymore. We wanted to make sure that I could paint this in one piece to make sure that this white peel went down really nice and even all the way across the car. And when it's finished, this thing looked absolutely factory. There's no issues with it. You wouldn't be able to tell that it's been painted whatsoever. I spent a lot of time doing the nibbing and the polishing on it and the detailing side of it, just checking that everything was right. You know, there was no little tiny bits of overspray or telltale bits anywhere, you know. And it's even when it comes to where the soft foam was inside the door shuts, I got the little mini polisher in there just to make sure that everything looked really nice and spot on before giving this back to the customer. And I think little details like that, especially on a brand new car, matter a lot. You don't really want to tell on a brand new car that you've already had paint on it. And I suppose that the only way that you really would tell on this now is if you got a paint thickness gauge on it, and it would show a tiny little bit of a difference to the other side of the car, but not a massive amount. The same when we came to the metal pulling side of things. I spent a full day getting everything panel beat out and pulling it all out, from removing the panels and using the slide hammer to get everything roughly back in the right place, and the hammers and the dollies, and then using the GYS system to really tweak everything up. So all we had to use was a little bit of dolphin glaze just to get the final finish and the final shape to the panels. Now this Swage line here is where I've kept the paint to, because again, as a painter, it's always good to use the lines of a car to your advantage. So if I try and keep the colour just under that edge, and keep the blend just underneath that, obviously the shape of the car and the angles of the panel change all over, which makes the colours look slightly different in different angles anyway. So if you keep your blends underneath something like a harsh Swage line like that, if the colour match is a tiny bit out, you'll never see it in a million years, because you're using obviously the lines and the shapes of the cars to your advantage when blending. Now that's something when I first started out that I didn't really understand as well as I do now, but as you know, trickier colours have come out over the years, like these pearl whites. We've got a lot of pearl reds and a lot of awkward colours now that, you know, we didn't have so much when I first started painting. And so as time's gone on, I've learned new techniques, better ways to blend, I suppose more intelligent ways to use the car itself to blend. Now when we clear this bonnet, I'm going to make sure that I shoot perfectly down on where that is. Now what that'll do is give me a really nice light feathered edge on that area, so that I can just lightly cut and polish that in afterwards, and then you will not see the blend on the bonnet on that very harsh Swage line. Now for the clear coat, I'm using the Final Systems Ultimate Clear again. I'm using it with the Churchill Medium Harder, like I've said about in a previous video. I just think it gives me a slightly better gloss level, retention after a bake. or after it's dried. It doesn't seem to pull back as much as it does if you use their own hardener, because the hardener that actually came with this kit was like the super rapid hardener, which is just ridiculously fast, and it makes it pull back way too much for my liking. Even on an air dry, to be honest with you. I think the clear itself is quite a nice clear coat, but the hardeners are so mismatched for what the clear coat is. I'm not a fan of the hardeners whatsoever. I suppose to some people they may have the uses, like in the smart repair industry or whatever, because they would have such a rapid flash off time and obviously a rapid cure time. But for me, they're just way too fast. So I'm using a medium hardener in this Final Systems Ultimate Clear, and I'm not using any reducer in it. I'm just shooting it straight as is, 2-to-1 mix straight out of the gun. I've done, or I did a full 2-coat on this, so 2 full wet coats. I left it, I'd say probably around about 5 to 10 minutes in between the 2 coats. It was just enough time to go out and mix some extra clear up for the final coat, and then come straight back in and hit coat number 2 straight over the top when it was nice and tacky, and it came out really nice and well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I've tried to sort of bring this video back a little bit, I guess, to where my original video started. It's more of just a refinishing video rather than, you know, a very detailed video, because for some reason at the moment YouTube, as much as I seem to be putting more effort into content, does not seem to like me putting more effort into content. It seems that these kind of videos are more appealing than the more involved videos. But you guys let me know your thoughts on that, and what you want to see in the future, because at the minute I'm kind of a bit of a stumbling block on what to do and the sort of content to make and where to sort of try and take the channel. Views over the last 2 months have halved, and we've got like 24,000 subscribers now, and for some reason like the last video that we did has barely got 1,500 views. So for 24,000 subscribers to get 1,500 views, I think that's pretty poor, to be honest. I know a lot of you guys that watch are hardcore subscribers, and we've got always got a lot of regulars on the live chats on a Friday and things like that. And obviously you guys that have joined as members, I appreciate all of you guys, and I hope you can give me a little bit of input into what you guys all want to see in the future, so we can try and grow the channel a little bit more and get some more really great people like yourselves on the channel, following along the journey that has been, for me, the sort of last 5 to 6 years of my growth in the paint industry. So one thing I know you guys have been waiting for is the winner of the board and the spray gun giveaway. So I will link the winner up here now, which my little one has picked out for me, out of the comments on the video for the giveaway. I will leave details in the description on this video of how to contact me in order to get your address and your details. So well done to you. I hope you enjoy the board, and I hope you enjoy the spray gun as well, and I will get them sent out to you as soon as you get in touch and we sort out the details with you. So that's about it for today's video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this little video on this new car that we've done in this pearl white today, and I'll see you again soon for the next one. Bye for now.